Let's do it.
I guess how do you look back on the season? And you obviously joined the team at Christmas time and talked about kind of hoping or wishing that you had been able to start in training camp and kind of develop some chemistry and continuity early on. But I guess now that we're exit interviews, how do you look back on the last few months?
It's I don't know. I feel like for me, it's it's a blessing. Like, I feel like for me in my personal career, it was a goal of mine this year to get back in the NBA and to be able to play and get a role, some type of role. So I'm blessed for the opportunity and everything like that. Being here and like my time here, I just feel like it's like a weird feeling today. I didn't expect to not be playing right now and, kind of be out the play-in tournament or the playoffs in general. Kind of feels like we didn't fulfill like the stuff that we're supposed to do as a unit. No matter if I was here or wasn't here, I thought we had enough to finish, to get to, to at least make the playoffs, make the play-in, but we didn't. And I think we earned that. I think we got what we deserved. So like I said a couple of days ago, now we have to change it. I have to change it. Next year, I think the same teams will say the same things, and it'll be the same type of spiel, except maybe the next year will be even worse because some teams will think they have a one-up on us because they did beat us a couple of times this year. But next year, the guys that, if I have an opportunity to come back and the guys have the opportunity to come back, it'll have to be a whole different focus. I think the season starts from when we start working out in the gym this summer. So bringing that type of energy and also not forgetting like how this felt as well. I think that can help us next year, and that's how I feel about my tenure here so far. So,
Great.
Stanley, your message of accountability after the last home game seemed to really resonate with fans.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that come from? Is that from inside you? And if so, can you be one of the forces that turn the tide in terms of having that latch on from top to bottom in the organization? Because the season you all are coming off of, it seems like many things need to be addressed.
Yeah, I think that's like the start. Like I wear the jersey. I'm playing. Like we're all the guys who are playing. So, I heard Frank got fired today. Like he took, some heat for stuff, and that's how the business goes. It's like I got cut by the Bulls this year, so I understand like whether it's right or wrong. That's not up to us to decide, But we are wearing the jerseys. We're the person that are playing. We're the people. Us personally, Russ, myself, everybody on the team. So there ain't nobody else, gonna come in and change it for us. Like we can get the best coach in the league, but still we have to go out there and put the effort in. We were probably 30th in defense this year. That, every game 130, like every game, like that's on us. So it's like, I don't know another way to think about it. And the only way to get better at things is to acknowledge what you did wrong. You have to start there. If you're not okay with acknowledging those things, there's no way you can look in the mirror and get better at things. So for me, I said my mom gave me some good advice when I was growing up, and now maybe at 25, I'm finally listening to it. So I think that's where that comes from, and I think it's the truth. I think everybody's probably saying the same thing today. I haven't heard what people are saying, but I think everybody, especially looking back at it, it's like, man, we could have did better. We should have did better. But next year we'll have an opportunity. So we'll see what happens.
And just quick follow, you learned the business, I think, the hard way in a short amount of time since coming in with the Pistons in terms of nothing's necessarily guaranteed.
Yeah.
I believe you signed a deal that would have some sort of contract for next season.
Yeah.
When you had your exit interview conversation, do you have an expectation that you will be part of the team moving forward, or what would you need to do to solidify that spot?
I think that's a question for Rob and Kurt. Obviously, like I kind of work like until June 30th. That's my job is with the Los Angeles Lakers, and when I go into my summer, that'll be my mindset until I'm notified differently. At that point in time, then we can deal with that when we get there. But me getting better as a basketball player, like the role that I had here and the things that I do here are the things that I can excel at, I think, on any team. So it wouldn't change my work ethic, and I think we have some of the best staff in the world. You know, Mike, Phil, especially those guys who I work with the most this year. So it wouldn't make a difference where I trained or how I prepared. I still wouldn't prepare this way with these guys. So I think we're all excited about getting back in the gym, take a couple weeks off, and get back in there.
Right.
Stanley, just wondered how you've seen your development from your career from the lottery pick, and you've documented kind of this offseason and wanting to get back into the league. Now you've shown some real things on the court, both sides of the ball. How do you think about your growth, and how do you think about what that tells you about the player you want to be next year?
I think a lot of the stuff is, I mean, you make enough mistakes, eventually you'll get it right. I mean, I missed a lot of shots. I made a lot of mistakes early in my career. I had a chance to watch the film, and I've been blessed to have an opportunity to change it myself. So I think for me, I take pride in what I do. I take pride in working hard. I take pride in playing well. And that's what I try to do every time I get on the court, is try to help my team win and play well. So I don't know if that answered your question, but that's what comes to mind first.
No, it does answer the question. I would just follow up by saying, are there certain things on the ball, off the ball, defense, like shooting? Are there certain things that you think about focusing on?
I think jump shooting has been a forever thing for me my whole life. I think I'm starting to turn the corner a little more than I have before, which is encouraging, because I feel like I'm 25. I've been working my jump shots since I was 12. So I got Mike. So hopefully next year we see some growth, and it's like small things. It's almost like playing an instrument. That's how it kind of works through a jump shot. So sometimes the growth it's not microwave. Sometimes you gotta shoot like 20,000 shots, 30,000 shots, and maybe on the 30,500, then you start seeing some development in the games. And I think this year I was able to make some shots, so that will give me more confidence going into next year. I want to become a better, intangible player, whether it's defensively or offensively, just kind of like learning how to, like Pat Beverly, he does things like he gets a steal, and when you're in the bonus, he's able to, run into somebody and get a foul and get himself to the free throw line. And he seems like a good teammate. He makes plays that gives his team energy on the court. There's a couple of guys in the league that I've seen that Pat Beverly just kind of came to my head first. I want to try to work on those type of things, and I think that's just a mental thing, watching film and stuff like that.
I think some of the splashiest things you did are a little bit what you described when you first arrived in this team. The defensive element, the physicality you brings. Frank talked a lot over the year about finding guys to do the dirty work, and I think you're one of those guys. What needs to happen for that to be a more pervasive culture on the team?
That's a good question. I think it's a team. Like, it's a team. Everyone has their roles. Everybody can't be doing that. Then so there needs somebody else to be scoring and doing other stuff like that. So I think it's more of a thing is, let's get the guys who are supposed to be doing those things, doing them at a high level, like being a star in your role, being a superstar in your role, whatever that is, and getting the guys that do what they do to do that at a high level as well. And those things need to come together at the same time, if you get what I'm saying. So basically what I'm trying to say is, what I do, like what I would do as a maybe a defender or a hustle player, we can't have 5 guys just defending and hustling. There has to be this guy's on the court, he's doing this guy's on the court, he's doing this, and these things have to tie together. Like, even on defense, for instance, right? I might be a guy who is guarding a guy like Luka, and it seems like I'm making the plays, but I'm not really making the plays. There's 4 guys behind me that are in the right positions, and when the ball is loose, I'm able to go grab it, outlet it to Russ or outlet it to Bron, and then Russ or Bron is running the lane, and now they can make the play that they're supposed to make. Kind of like my first game here at Christmas. Like, I was doing a lot of defending. Bron was doing a lot of scoring. Russ was doing a lot of facilitating. And it was all working together, and we, beat the lead down, almost won the game. So, like, it's more of a thing, in my opinion, that will work together than more, say, having 5 or 10 guys all, being like a hustle defender type of guy. It has to be a chemistry and an equal balance. Now, everyone has to play hard now. Everyone has to, be able to make a hustle play. But not everyone can expend that type of energy on, you know, a certain guy or in this certain scheme like that.
It sounds like you feel like those moments of kind of sync of those roles didn't happen enough.
I mean, obviously not. If they did, we would be in the playoffs, you know. And I think that's as cut and dry as that one gets. If they, you know.
Okay.
Stanley, having, you know, there are teams in this league that like everybody wants to win, right? And then there are teams believe that they can win, and then there's teams that like really believe it, right? And this team talked like they really believed it.
Yeah.
Up until Phoenix in some regards.
Yeah.
Until they got officially eliminated. Did you feel that, or at a certain point was that just kind of what like this team had to tell itself to keep going?
No, we ain't gonna lie to you. I don't think anybody from what I've seen from the guys in the locker room, it don't mean that much for us to get up here and put a facade on for people to, oh yeah, we believe. No, we for sure. Would you believe if you had LeBron and Russ and AD in the locker room with you?
I think, to be honest, I would wonder though, like, when do I get all three of them? You know what I mean? Like,
that would be nice too, right?
But,
you know what I'm
saying?
saying?
Like, thing, but I mean, but like every time it would be there, the rug would get ripped out from it. And I think eventually that wears people down.
It does. But you also have other guys who are super talented, who can play. And you're just like, yo, if we can get in the spot, if we can get in the fight, I believe in a 7-game series, we can figure it out. And I mean, obviously it's crazy if we believe that now, but I believe that all the way up until I knew we can make the playoffs. And at that point in time, obviously you got to believe at that point in time. But I think if we would have got in and we would have had an opportunity, we would have played well. Did we? No. Did we deserve to get in? No. Like we just didn't. We didn't play well.
Is it though? And I'm not questioning.
Yeah.
I believe you. But you guys lost this team. This team lost 49 times.
Yeah.
Like this team is not close to being at the top of the Western Conference. Do you think some recognition of like how far away it was would have been better for this group and maybe helped it in the short term? Or do you think dreaming big and kind of staying, you know?
I see what you're saying.
Should the goals have shifted?
No. What is it? I just don't think it makes sense. Like you look at the talent on the team and look what we could do. I don't even know how you would think that way. And like, obviously like the little micro details in the game is like a lot of the games, like we just kind of blew them. Like whether it be like a big run in the third quarter or a big run in the fourth, or turn it over too much, or just not making plays on defense or not making plays on offense. Like these are things that, you know, in my opinion, we had control of. It wasn't like a team was dominating us on that. We had control of making those plays, and we just didn't do them. We didn't make enough plays. And, you know, a loss is a loss. You lose a game by 5, and we could have made the plays. Well, we continue to do that, and we kept losing the games by whether it be blowouts or single digits, or even the games we played well. Frankly, oh, you guys, you know, put the effort in. We still lost, you know?
Sure.
So it's like we just didn't do enough. Like, it's hard to say that. It's hard to get, especially with the team, like as a player on the team, like it's hard to believe that you can't win the whole thing. You look around the locker room, like I play against other people in the NBA, like there aren't as good as the guys that we have in our locker room. But at the same time, as a group, when I was talking about with you earlier, there's other teams that were good. Like Phoenix, they're together. They play well together, which we didn't have that type of camaraderie or chemistry. I think camaraderie is maybe the chemistry on the court. I don't think we had to the level that we needed to do to win as consistent as we wanted to win.
Alan Sliwa on Zoom.
Hey, Stanley, just to actually play off what you just mentioned right there, injuries obviously played a big part of the season. Do you think there's other factors that played into it? Is it the chemistry that you're referring to? Just curious your perspective. If you try to put injuries to the side, some other stuff that stuck out to you. Yeah,
I would say just what I said prior. It's not that we didn't have the chemistry. It was just the chemistry enough at like moving at the rate enough for us to win at the level that we needed to win at. It just was not there as consistent as we needed it to be. And that's totally on us, you know. And obviously injuries, like that definitely plays a part in it. But as professionals, like we have to figure out how to find a way at some point in time, you know, to figure it out. And we did not do that. Can't say the ball didn't bounce our way, which it didn't, but that's not like excuse. Like we can use all that as well. But at the same time, we had control of winning the games. There's a bunch of winnable games. I'm not going to point out any, you know, whatever ones, but there are a bunch of games that were super winnable that we had them won and we lose. And those games that happen in January and February and, you know, December, they hurt you in March and April. So it's not time. Like at the end of the season, it's like the Pistons is always be like, we miss the playoffs every year almost. And it'd be like at the end, like we got to scramble to make it. No, the game we lost, game 30 we lost was part of the reason why we're in the position that we are. And that's how the league works. There's other professionals as well. There's other good teams as well. So got to live with that.
Brian Kamenetsky on Zoom.
Hey, Stanley, apologies for making you backtrack just a little bit, but like when guys at your level, I presume, you know, have kind of always been the best players. You know, you're the best player on your high school team. You're one of the best players by kind of definition on your college team, or you can't get to the NBA. You get drafted in the lottery and you're expected to kind of be a star. How challenging is it? What is the challenge in having to kind of recalibrate your perception of yourself as a basketball player to kind of fit in the way that you've had to do, to go from sort of thinking yourself as maybe as a star to part of something? If you kind of understand what I'm getting at, kind of rethink of the way you see yourself as a player.
I just think it's about how serious are you about winning. Like Billy Donovan, when I was going with the Bulls, he told me, he's like, you know, when you're in high school and you're like one of the best high school players, you're only playing against four years of high school players, maybe 7, right? Your first year, you play up, and then the last 3 years, you might get a kid that's 3 years younger than me. And then you get to college, you have the same kind of bracket, maybe 6 years. You know what I'm saying? You leave after your first year, but you get to the league, you got 20 years of talent. This is the best you got. So if you were the best scorer in the UIBL, well, Bradley Beal was in the UIBL. He was just 6 years ahead of you. Are you a better scorer than him? Like, probably not. So maybe you're not a scorer. Maybe you just had to score in that situation. You know what I'm saying? So I guess kind of realizing stuff like that. I like winning. I like playing basketball. I know I'm really, really good at it. I've never like degraded myself. But it's also like I'm better at things. I'm better at things in some places than other guys, and I'm not as good as other things at certain things as other guys as well. And just trying to balance the two and figure out how to kind of get myself together. Is
it easy to underestimate how hard that is to do, though? To like
100%, 100%. Everybody, and it's like the expectation part is like you feel a little worse. Like, damn, like I'm supposed to be doing. You just gotta do what you're supposed to do. You gotta play your lane, do what you gotta do, and see a bunch of guys being very successful at, you know, playing their role per se, or not being the superstar guy. And to me, it looks pretty good to me. I think they're living a good life and they're having fun doing what they love to do. So,
thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.